We are ready, Master.
Okay, thank you. Well, hello everyone. Tonight we're continuing with the discussion of Master YongHua's Shanti instructions. Last night we got started and he was talking about Hinayana versus Mahayana distinctions. And he said, basically, like in slide 228 here, there weren't many distinctions, really not much difference, but the people insisted on the differences. And he's correct, he's not wrong, but I feel that I have a different attitude. I embrace it, I don't criticize it, because I feel it's a natural part of discrimination of the people. When you don't have wisdom, you naturally discriminate. You will differentiate, and you will judge. So I think that at the time Master YongHua was younger, this is 1970s, he died in 1994, so 20 years later, so he's around his 50s. So I don't think he was that experienced in teaching yet. I think when he got older, he was more embracing. So I feel that I disagree with this. We should learn to accept people for who they are. If they feel that Hinayana and we are Mahayana is evil, we accept it. It's not a problem for us. We don't need to judge them. I used to learn this from them when I was younger, and I was really afflicted by this. I said, why is that the Hinayana people keep on insisting that we, Mahayana, are unfounded, and so therefore we deviant, we're evil, and so forth? It's because of these kind of teachings. I disagree with it. I feel that it unnecessarily make you afflicted. Okay, can we embrace? The Westerner have a saying, live and let die. Oh, no, live and let live. Live and let die is the name of a James Bond movie, as you may have remembered. Live and let live. It's okay. We can embrace them all. Mahayana is such that we're not afraid. We're not afraid of the differences. We're not afraid to be judged. We're not afraid to fail. We're not afraid to fall short. But we keep trying and trying and trying. Okay? And so this, I disagree with Master YongHua. And then, so he ended up with Lin Ji, Cao Dong, Yun Men, Fa Yin, and Wei Yang. So many sects. And that's natural. It's a good thing there's so many sects, because what happened is back then the Master Wei Yang can only reach so many people, and then he ran out of disciples to be taught. He didn't have affinities with a lot of disciples, Chinese disciples back then. So it's a good thing we have Lin Ji who came around, who would say, I would stand out and do things differently in Master Wei Yang, and he got a lot of followers. And that's a great thing, because now, over the years, the Wei Yang followers disappeared. They weren't measuring up to the standards of Wei Yang anymore. So it's a good thing we have Lin Ji, that we can fold into Lin Ji and continue the Wei Yang tradition, okay? Until more competent disciples appear in the horizon, and then we revive the Wei Yang training, okay? The training is designed to fit and to serve the disciples, to serve the trainees. It's not the teachers. The teachers are not encumbered by your discrimination. It's just that we can only teach you so much. Think of it as your children, your nieces and nephews. There's so much you can tell them, and you have to wait until they grow older before you can tell them more. Same thing in Buddhism, okay? All we can do is plant the seeds for you, wait for you until the seeds ripen, and then we'll teach you. So there's no need to judge them. There's no need to be afraid. I welcome the differences. I love that the fact there's Linji. That's how I started, okay? And then, and Caodong and so forth. The poor Japanese, they still hang on to Caodong, which I feel it's a mistake. But that's okay. If it serves them, I'm glad for them. Any problem with this? Okay? There's no need to discriminate. There's no need to judge them. I embrace them. And I think it's a good thing. There's so many distinctions because it tells you that Buddhism should be a lot more open-minded, a lot more petitioned, because then it's more efficient in serving its followers. It's okay to have Vietnamese Buddhism, to have Chinese Buddhism. The way it is right now in China, it serves the people, it serves the government. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? And Taiwanese Buddhism, which is limited now because they, just like many places in the world, the newcomers expect comfort. They expect things to be taken care of for them because there's so much money going to Taiwanese Buddhism. So that's what they do. They offer amenities and comfort and a very safe lifestyle. And because of that, Taiwanese Buddhism is dying. There's no more really competent people in that generation, okay, in the younger generations, because they're weak. They expect comfort. They expect things to be taken care of for them. Cultivation, you must do it yourself. No one can do it for you. And that's part of the fun. You're discovering who you really are, what you are really made of. You see? So it's okay, if you look at I feel sorry for the Taiwanese because the Taiwanese have so much history. They're so generous as a country. They are such big supporters of Mahayana throughout the world. For example, the city to be YongHua is basically Taiwanese money support right now. They own that place. Okay, so they dictate things the way that the Taiwanese tradition. That's okay too. Okay, it's because that's what it takes to get them to support those temples and get the people to come in and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly okay. It's just not for me personally. That's all. All right? But we need to embrace them. It's a good thing. All these things, there's so many differences, not only the Taiwanese. So, it's sad to see the Taiwanese not getting trained anymore. I don't see that many competent monks and nuns anymore, even in my generation. Okay? And that's why it's sad to see that. Okay, but on the other hand, what they have is because of their generosity, they have a lot of Mahayana blessings. You see, they may not be able to cultivate right now because of the differentiation, because of the monks don't understand. Okay, but because of their culture, they're planting a lot of blessings. So way a lot more than Ukrainians, way a lot more than Chinese, way a lot more than the Vietnamese. Let me assure you. Okay? And so they have Mahayana blessings, and therefore in the future, and they can be used. Okay? So it's always plus and minuses and differentiations. It's perfectly okay to me. No need to judge them. Okay? 5 major schools of Chan teaching Vinaya, Secret, and Pure Land. And what is he? He's going to say a thing again. Okay. And so on a broader scale, when the Chinese divided Buddhism into 5 schools of Chan, teaching, Vinaya, secret, and Pure Land, that to me is a good thing too. Okay, again, because you talk to most Buddhist practitioners now, especially monks who are teachers, they cannot understand all 5 schools. They don't. So how can you expect them to say, I'm Mahayana, therefore I teach all 5 schools? And people will come to them and ask them, Master, did my mother make it to the Pure Land? And they're not, and they can't answer their disciples. How can they say they are teaching Pure Land? How can they say they're Mahayana? You see? So it's not practical for monks and nuns to be able to teach all 5 schools. In Korea, for example, they specialize in Chan only. And that's good enough for them. Hinayana countries, Thailand and so forth, they only teach meditation, Hinayana meditation. And that's good enough for them. That's all. That's what they are. They are helpful to society in that sense. It's only when you find a great master like Master YongHua who's versed in all 5 schools, would he be able to transfer Chinese Mahayana and bring it to the U.S., its totality to the U.S.? And the fact is that even though he brought it to the U.S., my generation, his descendants, cannot get all 5 schools. Case in point, okay? They're good in Chan, they're good in Sutra studies, they're weak in Vinaya because Master YongHua never put a lot of emphasis in Vinaya teachings, and in particular, they're extremely poor in Pure Land. Their teachings in Pure Land basically is nonsense. It's from the books. They don't understand anything. You see how difficult it is to understand 5 schools. So how can we expect the monks and nuns who say, I'm Mahayana, and therefore I must know all 5 schools? It's perfectly okay if you say Mahayana, but I teach Chan, I explain sutras, I do ceremonies, that's Mahayana too. There's nothing wrong with that to me. We have to be honest about it. We don't have to claim we understand everything. I'm Mahayana, but I'm specialized in this part of Mahayana. That's all you can expect from me. What's wrong with that? Don't have to pretend. All right? And so, to me, the 5 schools are important because it helps provide a focus. If you tell me when I first came to Master YongHua's temples, I didn't understand sutras, I didn't understand Chan, I didn't understand Vinaya, of course, and secret school, they wouldn't teach me. And of course, Pure Land is non-existent there in my generation. So what am I supposed to do? I was terrified. I was confused like heck. Okay? And it's a good thing that I only wanted to do Chan, didn't want to do Pure Land, didn't want to do secret school, maybe a little bit secret school, but certainly not Vinaya, certainly not teaching, because I didn't understand it. If I was told that I'm supposed to understand all 5 schools based on the tradition and standards of Master YongHua, I would have left already. I said, no, it's not for me because I'm not getting help. I'm not getting trained in these things. It's a waste of my time, waste of my life. So it's good to me that monks and nuns are allowed to do Son, to do Hua Tou only, and that's good enough, as long as they find a way to become enlightened. And when you get a little bit higher, then you begin to understand all 5 schools. You cannot expect to understand all 5 schools right away, but you need to have one entry door, okay? And you climb up there at the very top. You will understand everything. But until then, you can specialize. It's perfectly okay to specialize in Hua Tou, especially to specialize in metta meditation, mindful, kindness meditation and so forth. Perfectly okay to recite mantras. I have no problem with it. Okay? So the 5 major schools are good. It helps people get started. And also, at the people at the top, they look at you and say, oh, you specialize in song, but you don't do secret school. So you can't help a lot of people. Secret school is very important because we use it in our intervention work. When we meddle with the ghosts and the demons, we need mantras. They're not going to listen to reason. You need to beat them up. You need to hurt them. When your ghosts misbehave, I slap them in the face, and I have to be stronger for your ghosts to behave in my presence. Okay? So the 5 schools is a good thing. I disagree with him here, this area. Within a non-discriminating Buddha Dharma, various doors were clearly differentiated and firmly established. Okay? The Buddha Dharma is non-discriminating, he's correct. Okay? But in a way, I feel that even the Bodhisattvas who came to our world, especially in China, to establish the 5 schools and establish the various sects in Chan, in Hinayana, and so forth. Okay? They're limited. Let's listen. The schools were established by the Bodhisattva. They're not ordinary people. They're not ordinary like you and me. Okay? Yes, when Great Master Bodhidharma brought Mahayana to China in what century? 5th, 6th century, whatever. Okay, 4th century and so forth. He taught only Chan. He taught the mind-to-mind seal. But Shen Guang, who is the 2nd patriarch, Chinese patriarch, he knew about sutras already. And that's because of that, Great Master Bodhidharma had to spend 9 years to bring him up there. Because when you know too much, it becomes impediment. So in a way, it's a good thing that even Huike, Great Master Huike, 2nd patriarch, he only taught Chan till the 3rd patriarch, who then, by the time you get to the 5th patriarch, okay, a lot has been lost already. I can assure you, there's no way that 5th patriarch would be able to understand all 5 schools because of the way he taught Master Huineng, the 6th patriarch. Okay? And so you see, they're differentiated by Bodhisattva because don't blame anyone else. The Bodhisattva themselves were limited. That's all they could understand. Master YongHua has plenty of disciples who are actually bodhisattvas. That's all they could understand. They understand a little bit of Chan because Master YongHua taught it. They understand teaching because he puts a lot of emphasis on teaching. Okay? Vinaya, they don't understand much. Secret school, that's Master YongHua's specialty. He's very strong in secret school. Okay? Pure Land, they're extremely, extremely weak. They don't understand. Even my peers, my generation, don't get it because they're limited. It's not their fault. That's the best they can do. So I welcome the differentiation. I think it's great. You need those different Dharma doors for you to climb up your way. And then we teach you. to expand more naturally. So here's what Master Hsien I feel is unfair to the Sangha. Each school can be seen as a separate door, distinct household, creating division and distinctions. So what? All houses have different rooms, don't we? We have a living room, we have a dining area, we have a kitchen, we have bathrooms, we have bedrooms. Because they serve different purposes. It's still the same house. So I feel here he's being critical. He's right, but he's wrong. He's right in principle, but he's wrong in practice. The principle is that there's no differentiation, meaning that if you really have wisdom, you have no differentiation in your heart at all. You don't care. But until you have real wisdom, you differentiate. That's who we are. There's nothing wrong with that. It only denotes the phases of your cultivation, that's all. We should embrace it. We don't have to criticize it. When I say, Master Hsuan's disciple is this and that, I embrace it. I don't mean to criticize them. I only mean to tell everyone that we all have limitations. There's no need to pretend, no need to say that we are Mahayana. Okay? Just because my master is Mahayana doesn't mean I have to be. That's the best I can do. What's wrong with that? Your door is from my door. My whole household is the same as your household. Of course, it's not. My gosh, I love to eat Korean food. And then some days I like to eat Vietnamese food. Some days I like to eat French bread. That's the spices of life, variety. There's nothing wrong with the Buddhist disciples go to the temple and learn this from the Dharma master, go to the next temple, buy some rice and offer the temple to support a triple jewel. Nothing wrong with that. We're all the same network. It's all within Mahayana, whether you call it Hinayana or Tibetan or whatever, it's still Mahayana. Manifesting their own spirituation, each school, each person speaks their own goodness. Here it's a whole how there's their superiority. Okay, of course. When let's talk about spiritual penetrations. Spiritual penetration is a natural thing for you that will happen because you need to use it in your work. When you don't need to use it, don't have it. Don't be like many people who say, I need to have spiritual penetration in order for my people to be impressed and believe in me. Who asked them to believe in us? We're just doing our jobs. If they believe, I help you. Don't believe? Oh, thank goodness, you go somewhere else. So only the people who put emphasis on spiritual penetration because they're trying to prove something, they're trying to impress others. Spiritual penetration is something that occurs naturally because you need it to do your work, not to impress, not to get more donations. Okay? Each person speaks their own goodnesses. Okay? This is, I agree with him. When you're insecure, when you're not strong enough, you only want to reveal your strength and your superiorities. You don't want people to see your weaknesses. Because you're afraid to be hurt. You're afraid to lose. That fear there is your weaknesses. And it's not necessarily a good thing to talk about your goodnesses. not a good thing to talk about your weaknesses. So yes, you should talk about what you can do for others, how you can help, and so forth. Okay, but he says again. Now he's going to back to the principles again. What is good? What is not good within the Buddha Dharma? Okay. Now he explains. Goodness arises from non-goodness, and non-goodness arises from goodness. Okay, actually, there's no differentiation. That's what he's getting to, and this is where Chinese extremism, I call it. Okay, when you go to extreme good becomes extreme bad. You go extreme bad becomes good. It's like the Tai Chi, the Chinese have a Tai Chi, yin and yang. It's like a pendulum. It swings back and forth like here. When you go up to the peak, it will return back to the other way. Okay? That's a natural pendulum effect. But I think this is wrong. Okay? This is where I feel the Chinese teaching, I respectfully disagree with Master YongHua here. Okay, it's not a goodness to extreme leads to non-goodness, and vice versa. Non-goodness to extreme leads to goodness. Okay, it's because there's no differentiation. It's not because you're bad that you become good, and you're good become bad. That's nonsense. Okay. In the evil nature that you have, there's so much goodnesses. That's why we're teaching you the Buddha Dharma to bring you to the goodnesses. And in the extreme goodnesses you have, there's also the evil side that will help you understand these evil beings like the demons, so that you can help them, you can defeat them. How can you defeat something like demons? You cannot see them, you don't understand their weaknesses, you don't understand their evil nature at all. How can you defeat them? You can't kill them, you have to defeat them. Okay? So this is nonsense Chinese. I respectfully disagree. It's from the Taoist principle where when you go to the extreme, it reverses, like a pendulum effect. To me, actually, Buddhism is a lot deeper. What I teach is not goodnesses to the extreme becomes bad, but goodnesses and bad. In the goodness, there's evil. In evil, there's good. It's about you knowing how to bring it out. That's all. That's where training comes in. You have some bad habits, okay? So part of training is for you to recognize those bad habits and stop doing them so that your goodness will shine forth. All right? How far do you have to go?
All the way to the end of the slides. So,
what slide number is that? Yes, 7.
어제 제가 어저께 마스터께 드렸던 질문을 비유해 보면 상담학 교수에게 정규 강의 시간에 앞으로는 AI가 상담사를 대체한다. 행동치료나 인지행동치료 같은 기법의 상담은 오히려 낮은 수준의 상담자보다 AI가 더 낫다라고 한 것과 견줄 수 있는 수준의 질문이었다고 생각하고 제가 이 자리를 빌어서 참여드리고 싶습니다. 어제 마스터의 말씀에서 저는 불법의 존립을 논하기보다는 악조건 속에서도 어떻게 선함을 유지할 것인가를 염두해야 할 것이라고 초점을 두어야 된다라는 것을 느꼈습니다. 다시 한 번 더 참여드리고 마스터께 감사드립니다. 그리고 이 참여가 끝나고 제가 질문이 있습니다. 현보스님 영어로 쭉 읽어주시면 됩니다. 감사합니다.
We cannot hear you. 네. No, we cannot hear you.
밖에 안 들려요.
No, no. That's a very simple. So we cannot hear very simple.
So where they're working on it, the end of the slide is 275.
Oof. Well, they go very fast. Okay. One should not differentiate between what is high and what is low. In general, don't differentiate. Embrace. Okay? Yeah. Vajra Sutra states this Dharma is level and equal. This level equal Dharma is without high and low. There is no high and there is no low. Okay? 修法平等 It's correct. The Dharma is level and equal. 平等 here, meaning it's flat. 平 is level. 等 is equal. So level and equal. That's fine. This doesn't refer to the methods of practice. It refers to this Dharma here. Let me explain it from a different perspective for you. This Dharma means that Buddha Dharma is level equal. Go ahead, JC. And this is Vajra Sutra. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of opinions. It's
I'm sorry, Master.
highly revered.
NFXP sound has in trouble, so I read Jimmy's comment. To compare my question yesterday to a professor of counseling, I heard that AI will replace counselors in the future during regular lectures. I think it was a comparable question to the one that AI is better than low-level counselors. In Master's words yesterday, I felt that rather than discussing the existence of illegality, the focus should be on how to maintain goodness in adverse conditions. Again, I'd like to repent and thank you. Did you understand?
I think so. Well, in general, I don't think people should worry too much about AI. AI is an aid. It will never be able to replace decision makers. You study your things, use AI to help you, but you develop your own intelligence, your own smarts, and you still need to feed it to the AI. AI doesn't get any smarter. Okay? So don't worry. People are terrified of AI and feel they're losing jobs. Low-level people will lose their jobs. But you get an education, and you can use AI to help do your homework. But eventually, you will be able to function in parallel with AI, in conjunction with AI. It's nothing to worry about. So we'll get an education. Don't be afraid. Nonsense. At the highest level, AI is an idiot because it pleasurizes. It doesn't produce, it doesn't create, it pleasurizes. So it's not capable of creating the way that human mind can. So it can never replace the human mind. Okay? I wouldn't worry. If you are limited, then yes, you will be replaced. But such is life. Okay? Develop wisdom. Yes, I'm not scared of AI. I feel AI is a bunch of idiots. Those programmers are not very bright to me. They lack wisdom. Because they lack wisdom, their product lacks wisdom. Okay, I will explain to you, because when you look at this, you say the Dharma is level equal. Does it refer to the Chan school the same as the Pure Land school? I just told you they're not necessarily the same. So it's different. Okay, and I welcome the differences. Now he quotes the Vasa Sutra and says, the Dharma is level and equal. Okay? This refers to from the Buddha's perspective, once you understand, you have great wisdom, that's when you see it's different. When you talk to the Korean monks, you talk to the Chinese monks in China, you talk to Vietnamese monks, you talk to Thai monks and so forth. Certainly the Dharma is not level and equal. That's a fact. They have not achieved parity of the Dharma being level and equal yet. Okay, so this is a reminder that you don't see the Dharma as level equal. You see Tibetan Buddhism is better than Chan, or you see Son is better than Pure Land. That means you have not achieved this level of profound wisdom where you see the Dharma is actually level and equal. That's exactly how you should look at this line, not judge others. This is, from a Buddha perspective, he says, the Dharma I'm teaching you is level and equal. So whatever you do, if it leads to that level, then you're on the right track. Don't stop before you see the Dharma is level and equal. That's all it means. So it's meant to discourage us from saying Pure Land is better than Chan, Chan is better than secret school is supreme, whatever, nonsense. Okay? It works for you, fine. Go for it. But do not stop. Go all the way. You go to Chan school, it's supposed to bring you all the way to the point you see the Dharma is level and equal. You practice Pure Land, same thing. You should be able to go all the way, reciting Buddha's name, bowing Buddha. You do those things, the Dharma will be level and equal. You see that Pure Land is the same as Chan. Okay? Practice secret school. You see that it's so much more effective in Mahayana. It's so much more powerful than any other mantras and their tantras people use out there. I don't care whatever they are. The Mahayana mantras are extremely powerful. It overpowers everything else. But it doesn't mean you should say it's the best thing possible. Okay? It's worked for you, but you may be able to have more power with your mantras over others. But you look at a person who look at Dharma as level and equal, okay? You cannot overpower such a person with your mantras. Okay? And so Vajra Sutra here states the ultimate of level of attainment. If you were to practice Buddhism properly, you no longer prefer to be Son, prefer Pure Land, prefer secret school. You only prefer it because you haven't been all the way yet. So that's why when I hear a monk who says, I only teach Chan, I don't do Pure Land, this monkey hasn't seen it yet. Okay? Haven't been there yet. When people request the Dharma of 6-page chart, he said, if I have one word's worth of Dharma to tell you, then I would be lying. That's exactly what he said. Meaning that if I have any Dharma to teach you, well, I'd be lying too. That's Master YongHua. And this is his words. Okay? He says, he quoted 6-page chart. He says, 6-page chart. In the 6-page chart sutra, it says to, I think it's some kind of Ming, whatever his name is. He says he asked him for instructions, and 6-page chart says, I have no thing to tell you. If I had anything to tell you at all, then I'd be lying. Okay, and there's close quotes here. And then Master YongHua says, if I think maybe 6-page chart, I feel this is Master YongHua saying, if I have any Dharma to teach you, I'd be lying too. Fundamentally, there's no Dharma to be spoken. That's because he's there. That's why he speaks like this. He's probably the only monk who spoke like this. I don't see Xu Yun be able to speak like this. I don't see his disciples being able to speak like this. He has nothing to teach. It was my generation, my peers feel they will be better because we have something better than the others to teach you. Baloney. Okay? Therefore, in all other buildings, there's Buddha Dharma. This building hour, there's no Buddha Dharma. I don't know why he talks building. Huh? This is 71, 73, 74. So back then, he had some old buildings in Chinatown here in San Francisco. No real temples. And so he's probably referring to the fact that his building was so shabby, so poor as compared to the other real temples. Okay, and that's why the Chinese Buddhists would come around and say, "You're not a real temple." Okay, and the Caucasians who came there, he said, "This is really not Buddhism at all. This is a place I can get food for free." Okay, yeah. There's no Buddha Dharma. I shouldn't say this Buddha Dharma of ours is here with us. Okay? So the Dharma, the point here, I'm trying to relate it to you. I don't understand what he's talking about and who he was talking about. But here, he's saying that the Buddha Dharma is not attached to a building. The Buddha Dharma is not attached to statues, not attached to concrete, material things. Buddha Dharma is in you. Whatever you practice, you're able to practice, or whatever you're able to achieve, that's your slice of the Buddha Dharma. It's not the buildings. It's not in the cars and the material things. Okay, and because the statues cannot speak Dharma for you, statues cannot save you. Statues cannot help you become enlightened. Only people can. Teachers can. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Yes, Master. So isn't the main function of a master is to lead his disciples to discovering the Dharma?
The master's job, I don't know how Master YongHua did it because I wasn't there when he was training his disciples. From my perspective, what the master is supposed to do is to fill you up with the Dharma. You are a Dharma vessel. So picture a vase behind me of flowers. Are there any vases behind me? Let me look.
Fruit. There's
See
fruit
that?
there.
Zoom into a flower vase. You see, there's only so many flowers you can put in there, and so much water you can put in there, and therefore it serves a purpose. Okay? So each vase has its purpose. And very much like someone who arranges flowers, you need to use it accordingly. So the teacher is the same thing. The teacher is look at you and say, you are like a vase. I will fill you up with things that will embellish you, make you useful to society. Okay? So the concept is called a Dharma vessel. You're a vase. And because of the size of the vase, the design of the vase, we want to try to optimize how to use it. Okay? And it doesn't stop there. The difference between you and a vase, don't go back home and say, hey, honey, Master just called me a vase. And don't let Peter next to you ridicule you. Say, Master, look at you as a vase only. Okay. Yeah. What makes you different from a vase is that you are a Dharma vessel. Okay, meaning that we can fill you with the Dharmas you're capable of containing. But because you're a Dharma vessel, it's to our advantage, both you and my advantage, of expanding the vessel so that we can fill you up with better Dharmas, so that you're even more useful, happier, if you will. You see, you expand it. Very much like the Avatamsaka Sutra. We speak Dharma to you so that we expand the boundaries of your intellect, telling you about things that you haven't heard of before. Okay? From these words, these concepts are from the Buddha's mouths, from Buddha's genius. Okay? So, you're a Dharma vessel, but we try to expand the size of your container so that you become enlightened. Okay? That's a job of a master. If you were to practice by yourself, you will not find anyone who will try to consciously do that for you. You have to figure it out yourself. So that's why in Mahayana, we follow a master for that reason. Does it make sense? If you don't have anyone who looks at you and sizes you up and said, like an architect who looks at, this space here, okay, and he says, okay, I will develop this plot of land accordingly, okay, and because that right now I build a foundation and so forth to build a house, but eventually I'll have the foundation be set up so that I can build higher and higher and higher and higher. So it takes a master plan, okay, from someone who knows. Okay, and so that's why in Chinese Buddhism, in Mahayana, we practice under a good knowing advisor because he's invisibly helping you prepare for that. Lay that foundation for your ultimate growth. Okay? But if you didn't have a good knowing advisor, then you have to figure it out yourself. So hit and miss. Tough luck. Does it help? Anyone else? So you're not supposed to understand it, okay? Because it's very much like when you ask an architect to design a house for you, or dwelling for you, building for you. He's not going to explain to you the engineering behind it, the numbers behind it, or the artistry behind it. It's not your job. You won't be able to understand it. So you have to have trust that his architect will do a good job based on his track record. Yeah? Same thing. Don't try to design your own house. That's my message to you. Do not be very efficient. You'll be sorry. Okay? Get the pros to do it for you. That's the good no advisor. So far, so good? Korean YouTube.
Master, this question came from YongHua. Emitofuo Master, a few days ago, you briefly explained about dust unmoving. I had considered this to be the result of practice, but now I realize that it is something to be practiced itself. So when something uncomfortable happened, I refrained from immediately getting involved and just observed. As a result, no mental agitation occurred. More importantly, I was able to stop blaming others, which have been a chronic issue for me. Do I understand thus moving correctly? It is not easy to practice thus moving, especially considering family matter. Could you please provide a bit more explain about this? Thank you.
Thus refers to the state of samadhi, meaning that samadhi means that you don't react to others, to the outside world. Okay? So thus unmoving, meaning that because you're in samadhi, you won't move. What does moving mean? Unmoving means that you don't think. Okay? And so when you practice Chan, you practice Mahayana, the way we train you is to help you, bring you to this state, thus unmoving. It's easier for you to develop it while you are here at the temple and practicing Chan. But once you get to a more advanced level, you can be still thus unmoving while you are moving about. You can be going to the nail salon. Oh, you don't go to nail salons, do you? We here in California, we do. That's our culture. Look. And so you can learn to be thus unmoving while in motion. Okay, so that's the principles behind it. But what you explain about yourself is correct. In order for you to get there, that's how you get started. You get started by refraining from reacting in your daily life. Someone insults you, okay? You're so ugly, and you're a thief. They insult you. You don't react. Okay? So once you can master that, no matter what happens, someone beats you up, someone insults you, you don't react. Okay? You have control over yourself. You're not afflicted by it. Then you can then begin to have wisdom to react in a better way. Okay? So thus as moving has two phases. The first phase where you are right now, you're doing the right thing. You train yourself not to react, not to get afflicted. Okay? When you're afflicted, since you still are not there yet, you still get afflicted, then endure. Don't react. Is that clear? And if you keep on doing that, the more you endure all the insults, all the slanders, all the criticism, all the injustices, that's when you develop your wisdom, your samadhi. All right? So keep it up. You're doing fine. Anyone else? 7.
Emitofuo Master. 영어로 하려니까 갑자기 긴장돼가지고. Okay. My question is, how can we expand our Dharma vessel? Because, yeah. 긴장된다. Because good knowing advisor just design and fill our vessel, then our vessels or Dharma vessel can expand just eventually and naturally.
Yeah, eventually, naturally. What I'm getting at in terms of Dharma vessel is that there is a master plan behind it. And we don't tell you. Very much like I gave the analogy of the architect. He knows what he's doing, but he's not going to explain to you because you won't be able to understand it. You don't know the engineering, you don't know the mathematics, you don't know the artistry behind it, so there's no point explaining to you. All you have to do is put your faith in this architect who says, I'm going to build a house for you as the way you like it. What do you want? You want 10-story building? I'll build it for you. How far do you want to go? In other words, you want to become enlightened? You want to become 4th-stage art? You want to become enlightened? I can do it for you. I can bring you there. All you have to do is have faith that you get there. And you follow my instructions. Meaning that when it's time I send you a bill, okay, I build 10% of your house, you're supposed to write me a check for $2 million, and so forth. You follow instructions, that's all. In a contract, that's all. Okay? That's what I mean. And because if you do that, then there's a process to bring you there that you don't need to understand. Until you become an architect, then you have to understand how to do it yourself. Right? He says here, back to slide 244, she should not say this Buddha Dharma hour is here with us. He's referring to the fact that do not think that we are Mahayana. When I say we are American Mahayana, is to help you differentiate. Our approach is different from the Chinese, certainly not the same as his. There's many subtle differences that bring us a lot further. We are not Korean Mahayana because we're not. We are not Vietnamese. We are not Tibetan. We are not. Okay? But that's why we call it American Mahayana, because we need to use the name. But you should not be looking at it as, we are American Mahayana. No. You understand what I'm getting at? It's just a name, doesn't mean anything. It is a name to help you understand, help people to remind people that our approach is not the same as the Koreans, as the Chinese, as the Vietnamese, as the Thai people. We're totally different. We use what's good in them, but we go a lot further, we hope. All right? So don't say that we are Mahayana, okay? Mahayana is not with me, Mahayana is with you. That's the main thing. My Mahayana is none of your business. It doesn't do anything for you. Okay? My Mahayana is only as good as your Mahayana. Let's face it. So there's no point in me talking about my Mahayana. Okay? Yes, 5.
네, 마스터. 그 여여부동 관련한 질문인데요. 네, 아까 반응하지 않는다는 것이 무시를 한다는 것과 좀 비슷한 것인지 궁금합니다.
Master, I have a question about thus unmoving. When I heard what you said, it feels like not considering others feels like ignoring. So is it right?
No, it means that you don't react. Meaning that when someone insults you, it makes you upset. You don't react to it. And that's how you train yourself to get to the point of thus unmoving. Right now, you're not thus unmoving. You're far from thus unmoving. I can easily insult you and you go crazy right away because I see your weaknesses and you're supposed to endure it in order to get thus unmoving. Okay? So at your level, that I taught this, the lady who asked, is that when inside you're afflicted, you feel insulted, but you refrain from doing anything. You swallow. Instead of biting back, instead of hitting back, you swallow. Instead of insulting back, you swallow. Swallow 7 times. By the 7th time, it's too late to insult back. That's how you train yourself. All right? Doesn't mean you ignore them. It's difficult to be insulted. It's difficult to be attacked. But you don't react. You don't fight back. That's will bring you to thus unmoving. Yes, JC? And don't worry. If you hang around, we beat you up and we remind you, thus unmoving. Got that? And you get plenty of help. A lot of people would like to insult you and criticize you. That's what Koreans do, right? Okay? You have plenty of chances. And remember, when she fights back, say, hey, that's unmoving. JC.
네, 질문 있습니다. 제가 3일 그 계획으로 단식을 시작한 지 2일 반이 됐는데 더 해야 될지 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
Thank you, Master. I'm fasting 3 days. Today is my last day. I want to know, can I continue or is it better to stop today? Thank you.
Doesn't look like you're dying yet. Continue 2 more days. Good luck to you. No cheating. Just because I can't see your face clearly, you cannot cheat. Okay, yes, 7.
이 질문은 예, 제가 이 질문 사실 제가 궁금한 건 아니고 다른 분을 대신해서 질문을 하게 됐고요. 현버스님 여기까지 한번 끊을까요?
This question is actually not came from me. This is for other people who I know.
그러니까 제가 이제 법문 시간에 맞섰게 질문을 하면 본인의 복을 소진한다는 얘기들이 조금 있나 봐요. 그리고 실제로 제가 한국에 있을 때 어떤 분께서 저한테 주미 씨는 그렇게 복을 많이 짓는데 왜 그렇게 저 법문 시간에 질문을 해서 복을 소진하냐라는 질문을 제가 실제로 받은 적도 있었고요. 한번 또 끊을게요.
Yesterday I heard your Dharma talk. You said when we ask to you, we also spend our blessing. When I was in Korea, someone asked to me. They said, if you make a blessing a lot in here, but why you spend a lot of blessing by asking to master a lot? 네, 해주세요.
네, 그래서 이제 제가 질문 드리는 부분은 실제로 법문 시간에 질문을 해서 복을 소진하는 게 아니라 불필요하게 물고 늘어져서 부가적인 설명을 좀 요구하는 게 복을 소진하는 거고 법문 시간에 질문하는 거는 어떻게 보면 여러 가지 문제들을 같이 공유할 수 있고 어떤 법문에서는 마스터께서 그거는 같이 이렇게 법을 나누는 거다, 법보시다라는 표현까지 하셨어서 약간 여러 가지 좀 혼란이 있는 것 같아서 이 기회로 질문을 드려서 법문 시간에 질문하는 것에 대해서 마스터께서 좀 명쾌하게 정리를 해주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Actually, I'm confusing because I think the question is not problem, but if I spend your time, if I constantly asking weird things again and again, I think it makes the problem losing my blessing. How can I clear my mind about this, about questioning to you? Because I think the only question is not the problem. Question is make other people to knowing well, and you also can do Dharma talk from this question. So is it okay? I can continue to ask, or is it be better? How can I do questioning to you? This is my question. I want to clarify this.
그러니까 다시 이 부분만 부탁드리면 불필요한 물고 늘어지는 듯이 이렇게 불필요한 부가적인 질문이 더 많이 들어가는 게 복을 소진하는 거지 법문 시간에 질문하는 것 자체 현보스님이 그냥 이것만 해주세요. 그럼 불필요하게 계속 이렇게 부가적인 설명을 요구하는 것이 복을 소진하는 거다라고 저는 법문에서 들었어서 그 부분에 대한 질문을 드린 겁니다. 제가 궁금했던.
In your Dharma talk, I remember spending my blessing is I constantly asking again in same problem. Is it right? Or yeah, this is her confusion. I'm sorry, Master. This is my best to translate.
For you specifically, not for anyone else, it's okay to ask questions. Why? Because it helps that lady who criticized you practice ru ru budong, thus unmoving. If it bothers her, she'd have practiced thus unmoving and not criticize you. all right? So your questioning helps her. It helps me because it helps me not lose my temper as well. I need to learn how to practice thus and moving as well. So it's good for everyone. Continue. Wei Mao.
Hi, Master. When
What happened? What happened?
to what?
To
No.
only when I'm there that you do it to me?
Brady told me to say I'm thus unmoving, but I'm not. It's just, yeah, it doesn't hurt enough yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you say thus unmoving, you say don't react, don't do anything. I think a lot of people, especially like these days, would take that as a sign of, they would take that as kind of being a victim, and just kind of taking a punishment and being a loser. I know that's not the case, but how would you, explain that to somebody who would definitely misinterpret that concept?
You practice, how do you explain that? How do you deal with those situations? You practice thus unmoving. You don't explain.
No, I'm not saying.
You?
I mean, no, not. This is not.
It's not you. Then why is there a problem?
Well, let's say like a domestic abuse relationship where a male will assault a female, and the female will feel like a victim. And your instructions are don't do anything. That could be misinterpreted pretty badly for the wrong type of person.
Yeah, you are right. It's not meant for that situation. It's meant to, the practice is not to get afflicted when people insult you. But when you are in danger, you're physically in danger, you should get out. Then you practice thus and moving when you're safe. Does it help? Okay.
Thank you, Master.
I hope it helps. Okay, you too. Thus as moving points to, you look at yourself, am I afflicted by this? Does her questioning bother me? If it bothers me, I should not do anything. Doesn't bother me, that's when I can make fun about it. Okay? Do you understand? The first step is, if you really are not bothered, you're not afflicted by it at all, okay, then you arrive. You can do anything you want. Yes, YouTube.
Thank you, Master. Just a quick message for our YouTube audience to please quickly like and subscribe. Moving along, we have a question here from Samson Lau. Emitofuo, Master, how can someone practice thus unmoving without having people step all over you? I can see this happening especially at the workplace, where people may take the no reaction as a sign of weakness and try to take advantage of you. Oops. Samson just says that it's okay, he's gotten his answer. Thank you, Master.
Okay, there's no question, there's no problem. Thus and moving. Okay, very good. Here, going back to 245, Master YongHua, I think he's criticizing them. He says, if you feel, he's look at his disciples and say, if you feel that you are my successors, you are the Dharma vessels of the Buddha Dharma, okay, then it is here, and then you think it's here with you. You are my representative. It's just a tiny bit of representation. You cannot represent my Buddha Dharma. I don't think they get it. He basically says, if you think yourself as a Dharma vessel of my Dharma, you only represent a tiny bit. Okay? And you're not very useful. As long as any of you, he's basically saying any of you thinks that you are my representative, that the Dharma, my Dharma, rests on your shoulders, on you, you're limited. You're so limited. You only understand so little of my Dharma. Because the fact is that my Dharma is way beyond your comprehension. My Dharma needs to be elaborated for you. My Dharma is extremely vast and subtle. We're not talking about Buddha Dharma, he's talking very specific. He says, the Buddha Dharma I brought you to this country, I taught to you, my disciples, my Guo and Heng disciples, is extremely vast and yet subtle. Okay? I'm teaching you about the nature of that Dharma realm. This is the principle behind it. Let's not go into it because you won't be able to understand. I'm not going to go there. Okay? There's no place where the Buddha Dharma exists. Okay? And there's no place where it doesn't exist. Okay? So it's a lot bigger than you if you think you're a Dharma vessel. Okay? Go ahead, Way Mountain.
Emitofuo, Master. I'm listening to a lot of Sixth Patriarch lectures from before when I started coming, and there's one term you're saying something about bicycle people, and what are bicycle people? I'm just wondering what that is.
Okay. Back then, when I explained the Sixth Patriarch Sutra something like several years ago, okay, I was at, I believe, Lu Mountain Temple, okay, and I used to make fun of people. There are a lot of people who are kind of troublemakers, okay. The Vietnamese are troublemakers, and kind of limited people is Basiloko. You want me to repeat it for you? Basiloko. That's Vietnamese. That's how it becomes bicycle. Bicycle people. That's Basiloko. See that? It's very close. It turns out, now that you asked, English came from Vietnamese. The Vietnamese is the mother tongue of all the tongues, all the languages. Okay? You see, Michael is making a face behind you. Turn around and slap him. See if he can do thus and moving. That's bicycle people, okay? You can look at Michael and say, you are bicycle people, and then slap him. Yes, 7, back there in Way Mountain Temple.
Oh, Master, I'm hoping my memory serves me right. It seems to me the gist of this was bicycle people. Those that ride into the temple cause a problem and then ride out again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's a proper English interpretation. But the Vietnamese is much more profound than that. Basiloko. You are all jokers. Okay, next. Who's next question? Korean YouTube or something? Is there another question? No?
Yes,
YouTube.
This question, this question is Korean YouTube. Kim Aram. Her question is, hello, Master. I want to meet good knowing advisor, and I also increase my power to protecting myself from my ghost of obstruction. which practice is good for me? Could you recommend for me? Thank you.
You plant blessings. Plant a lot of blessings. When you have enough blessings, you'll be able to meet a good knowing advisor, and you'll be able to recognize it. Just because there are plenty of good knowing advisors around, it's just you can't recognize them because you don't have enough blessings. So plant a lot of blessings. Go to a Mahayana temple, big temple, okay? Real Mahayana temple, and plant blessings. Help out, make offerings, help out, okay? And that's how you plant blessings. Yes, 7.
Emitofuo Master, back to Jumi's question, I also have I heard that type of, someone told me like that. I forgot who, but so I'm just coming America this time, so I just follow American style. So I asking what I want to, what I have, or yeah, I try my best. So,
Okay.
yeah, then I also wonder. When we asking something in the lecture, always Master said, you have a question, and also Master said, you need, if you have a question, then you always ask. Then, yeah, but sometimes I also think complaining answer, so they make a lot of questions to complain to answer. It's the is that type of question make them losing blessings?
For you in particular.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue to ask questions. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you, Master.
Okay. In general, don't worry. The people, I heard that often when I went to Korea. People asked, they said, Master is very important. My time is important, so don't waste my time. Let me decide what's important, what's not important. My job is try to help you. If you have a problem, you make the effort to come and make the effort to ask a question. I try to help you. When I get to the point where I feel I can no longer help you, then I refer you to ChatGPT. Okay? Don't worry about it. These people who tell you that you're wasting my time, so forth, they cannot decide for me. You can ignore them. Continuing slide 248, the state of Buddha Dharma is like this. He's referring to his Buddha Dharma, okay? Because why do I say that? He does not understand all of Buddha Dharma, but he understands enough to be able to talk at this level. He says that the Buddha Dharma that I teach you is nowhere it exists and nowhere it does not exist, okay? That's about the Dharma I brought to the United States, okay? But if you say that I am his successor, if I am the sole Dharma vessel of his, you're attached. You're not my worthy successor, okay? If you say that the Buddha Dharma is not there either, then of course, okay, you're attached. You say, the Buddha Dharma, Master YongHua Dharma is with my temples. They're not at YongHua's temple. It's not at the Korean temple. It's not at the Vietnamese temple. You're attached. You're wrong too. You don't have wisdom enough to say those things. For example, I went to Korea. I started teaching Pure Land Buddhism in Korea, and the lay people group that promotes Pure Land Buddhism in Korea, they called the CTTB and asked them, is YongHua a real thing? Does he know anything about Pure Land Buddhism? And the answer is no. They should be a lot more humble and said, we don't know Pure Land Buddhism. I don't understand Pure Land Buddhism. Therefore, I cannot answer your question. Okay? To say that the Pure Land Buddhism is not with me, you are attached. You don't know anything. So the Dharma is fundamental, ineffable, cannot be spoken, and this is his Dharma he's teaching. Okay? This is true Mahayana. This level here is not something that his disciples understand. Therefore, don't speak. Don't judge others. Don't say that Master Xinhua says so, therefore applies to everyone. When Master Xinhua says so, applies to you, idiots. Not to the Koreans, not to the Vietnamese, not to anyone. You, his disciples. Is that clear? He's not interested. He's not going to criticize the Koreans. He's not going to criticize the Thai people. They do whatever they do. It's their Buddhism. It's still within the Dharma he's teaching. He would never himself says, I am the only real Mahayana. They are not. They are not. Never. You know that? So he says, so to say that you are the only one who understands his Mahayana is wrong. You don't. That's why you speak like that. You think like that. And you criticize others. He brought the 5 schools to the U.S. Which school do you excel at? Do you excel at all 5 schools? You can't excel at one school. You think you understand Chan? You don't understand Chan. You think you understand Chan? Let me tell you. You understand Chan? How many enlightened disciples do you have? That's a measure of Chan. Huh? You understand sutras? You understand teaching school? Explain Avatamsaka Sutra to me. Nonsense. One cannot say a particular school is true and a particular sect is false. It's also true for everyone. Okay? There are people who says, my master, Xinhua, is a Chan patriarch, is a secret school patriarch, and so forth. That's the only real school. No. You're so wrong. You keep on discriminating real and false because you're so stupid. You're in no position to judge true and false if you dare look at others. That's what he's saying. Leave them alone. You worry about yourself until the day you can embrace them all. Then you can talk about it. You still reject them. You say, you're not as good as me. I'm better than you. And you're nonsense. You don't understand anything. Chinese Buddhism is better. No, it's not. Taiwanese Buddhism better. No, it's not. Only Taiwanese money is better, in my opinion. There is not a single true, is not a single false. Okay? See, unfortunately, he taught this, but they don't get it. My generation, we didn't get it. I used to be so proud of it. I used to be said, our Buddhism is much deeper, much further, much better. No, it isn't. True and proper Buddha Dharma encompasses everything, includes both the true and the false, both the non-true and the non-false. Meaning, let me interpret it for you. If you still open your mouth and say that that's not Buddhism, that's not Chan, that is not Pure Land, okay? Then your Pure Land, your Chan only encompass the true. It cannot encompass the false. You don't see the true and the false yet. You don't see the Pure Land in Chan yet. That's why you still say, I only practice Chan. You don't see the Chan in Pure Land yet. That's why you say, I only do Pure Land. You only see the mantras in your Tibetan approach because you don't understand Chan yet in your mantras. That's all. You're too limited. No, talk. You just want to feel superior and boast about your heritage and your master, but you are nothing. I hope it doesn't happen to you. I'm repeating the same thing to you. We are nothing. Don't have a big head and say we're better than them over there. We're not. They are Mahayana. We are non-Mahayana. There's a limited Mahayana. We are unlimited non-Mahayana. Which, according to their teachers, when we go to the extreme non-Mahayana, it becomes Mahayana. Okay? So, true and proper Buddha Dharma encompasses everything, includes both the true and the false, both the non-true and non-false. Referring to the fact that when you start out, we have to teach you to shed the false. So we teach you about the false, okay? But once you understand, you should no longer discriminate. You have true wisdom, you no longer discriminate between the true and the false. It's all embracing Buddhism. You don't reject anything. You don't reject people who waste Master's time. Let Master decide. We don't decide. Okay? See that? So that's why I said, last month I said, my Master haven't taught them yet, my level, my generation, about the non-Dharma yet. He hasn't. You're not good enough for me to teach you about the non-Dharma yet. So stick to the Dharma for now. Now I find out he talked about it already, but not to the level that they would be able to understand. Okay? This is too high level. Okay? Anyway, so the Dharma, Buddha Dharma he's referring to is what the whole world, you Koreans, you Vietnamese, you Chinese people look at as a Mahayana, is what is called the true Mahayana, the true Hinayana. But you are not good enough yet to be taught the true non-Mahayana, non-Hinayana. You're not good enough yet. That's what is meant. You only are You only deserve to be taught the true Mahayana. You don't deserve to be taught the true non-Mahayana yet. Don't be so proud of yourself. That's where the wonder is. It's a complete thing we're teaching you. You think you know? You don't. You're an idiot. You can be so sure you know more than I do? You're an idiot. Hear someone say, oh, Buddha Dharma is this place, Buddha Dharma is not in that place. Okay? No such a thing. Buddha Dharma is here, and then where is it not? See, so continuing this reasoning is that Buddha Dharma is everywhere, not just my temples, or this particular temple, not the other temple. Buddha Dharma is everywhere. It's part of your heritage. Okay? Outside of here, my building in Chinatown, there's no Buddha Dharma. Nonsense. He said it already, and so I don't know how, when my time to join the association, they seem to think that they're it in Mahayana. There's no such a thing. He taught it already. It's not only Mahayana is not only within his temples, within his association, within his website. It's everywhere, including Peter's subscription Mahayana site. And please subscribe. You know, for him, a pale-faced person, to follow these sessions every night in person, you know how much it would take? Huh? To say, please subscribe, please subscribe. Go ahead. 7.
Thank you, Master. I'm truly humbled. My requests for subscriptions completely pale in comparison to yours. But if you do find this lecture helpful,
he doesn't quit, does he?
Thus unmoving. Please don't get up, but do consider clicking the like and subscribe button to help others encounter the proper Dharma. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, YouTube.
Precisely. Even if you don't like tonight's lecture, just flick the like anyway. That's also part of the Dharma. Thank you.
Yeah, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, even if you don't want to subscribe anyway. That's Mahayana.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's the kind of Dharma we're practicing. Okay? Well, I can find the one building, one temple. It's everywhere. You see, it's all the temples in Chicago, in the East Coast, in Asia, everywhere. Okay? It's all connected. Okay? It's not confined to only one building or one place, one location. And you should not think so small. The Buddha Dharma fills up the entire universe. That's what he's trying to tell us. Don't think you're the only place where you can find Mahayana. It's not. Okay? Dharma is not fixed. Oh, it's 9 o'clock already. We're almost over. Okay? Let me see. 268, 69, 70, 70 something. Okay, we have to come back and continue this next week. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Chung Sunim is back. You look like you still okay. You break the fast? 1.
I'm good, yeah, Master.
How many more days?
20 more.
You're 20 days now?
Yeah.
Wow, 20 days already. No cheating?
Not cheating, yeah.
Not cheating yet. Oh my God. No cheating yet. So that's Buddha Dharma. It includes cheating too. Hang in there, huh?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Good night.